Hello everybody and welcome back to another Starcraft II video by Konungr. I'd like to start off by quickly apologizing for my lack of videos lately. I hit Platinum and then I joined a new clan. I joined ZvZ, which most of straight gaming kind of switched to when straight gaming it kind of died. Nobody was getting online. Some of the players, the higher players, had switched to different clans that would help them promote a little bit. ZvZ was the main one that most of us switched to kind of progress a little bit. So after I hit Platinum, I switched over to ZvZ. My last video I was already in ZvZ. That's when I opened up my overlay shop again because I was having to do overlays for the new clan and having to update my own overlays. One of the officers, Vanilla, who I had done one for, he saw my video. He's actually an officer in ZvZ. He saw my video, wanted me to do an overlay, and wanted me to do a second type of overlay, which I've dubbed Game Out, but I don't really know how to describe it other than it's for when you're not in a game. So basically, instead of seeing my overlay framework at the bottom here whenever I'm not in the game screen, because obviously that framework isn't available in the main menus, then it wouldn't do that. So he had one that he used to use, similar design to this, where it was a camera window, the main window up there, and then just some Starcrafty framework there. So I made him one. It was a Terran version, and then I found this really nice RoachHydraHost wallpaper, so I used that to do mine. And then of course I put some logos around it, like the ZvZ Straight Gaming logo right there. I also put Razor, since most of my stuff is Razor. I've got the Razor Black Widow, the Naga, the not the Scarab, the Destructor 2 mousepad, etc. The only thing I'm not using that's not Razor is my headset, because I'm currently using the Logitech Siberia V2s. Other than that, though, everything's Razor. And then of course we got the Aperture Sciences logo and the little Portal running man up there and over there, just to kind of, because I play a lot of Portal 2. Well, I like Portal 2 a lot. I don't play it that often, but every once in a while I'll get back into it just to kind of have fun, goof around. So anyways, this isn't my best game of the night, but it's by far one of my best ZvZs lately. I've been struggling with ZvZ a lot this season, especially with a lot of the earlier cheeses and aggression and what have you. So what I've been doing is one of the, I believe he's Diamond. He may have used to been Masters. Let me just check on that really quick. Okay, this guy, Valen. He's kind of been my, okay, so he's Masters, yeah. He's kind of been my mentor so far lately with the Zerg, just working on different fundamentals. So anyways, what we're going to be looking at is my last game from tonight, which is a Zerg versus Zerg. So let's go ahead and get into that. And actually, so I figured out the hotkeys and everything with my OBS, that way I can switch between them pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and get underway. So we're going to go ahead and watch this replay. So immediately pop into this screen and everything's back to normal again. And as you can see, the updated to my overlay with the ZvZ Gaming logo instead of the SGXX. So we're going to go ahead and shift down to my view, production tab, and speed this up a little bit. Actually, we're just going to speed it up by 2. Now, this was a fairly long game. This was actually a macro game. There was a little bit of aggression. Not too early, but. So, we're just getting everything set up, getting our overlord placement, our map hotkey set up, and just doing our normal setup. I've been working on some early overlord placement just to kind of see early leaving units and what have you, looking for natural timings to kind of spot the early aggression and the cheeses and what have you. And even though, and one of the things we've gotten out of the habit of doing since we've been under the coachings of Valen is not really drone scouting, not wasting the drone scouting time, but just relying on our overlords, since by the time they get there, 9 times out of 10, the overlord will be in position before anything's going to hit, with the exception of any kind of proxies by either Terran or Protoss, so we've been working on that. So we're opening up with a 15 pool, 15 hatch, and then immediately going into an extractor. Now, depending on what our opponent is doing will determine what we do with this gas. If we see our opponent go for an early rush, we will go ahead and grab speed. Otherwise, we will just save it for either banelings or roaches. Now, generally with ZvZ, I like to go for a very RoachHydra ranged heavy style gameplay. So we're just kind of trying to, we see that he does have some lings out, but he's droning on his natural, and quite a few at that. So we'll go ahead and drone fairly heavily as well as we'll get a few safety units out, but we're not going to worry about a baneling's nest because we know that he's not rushing out just yet. We can see with our overlord that his lings are still in his natural, and he still doesn't have speed. Well, he just got it as we saw that, so we're just continuing to drone up a little bit, and we're also going to be getting out some roaches just in case he decides to push out. We also go ahead and throw our ling up there in the direct path right outside of his gate. You may not be able to see it on the mini map, but that's right there. We've got that. So let's go back to my camera, and we're just getting some out, and we see those move out, so we go ahead immediately. We start, well, not immediately, here in just a moment. We're just moving that, and then we're going to go ahead and start a few spines up here just in case he tries to rush up. Those spines will help defend that main. So he pulls up over there. We're going to go ahead and just kind of pull out to the side. That way when he tries to push in, we can catch him a little bit. And of course he does try to run up. We go push in, and he does manage to take down our queen here in a moment, and I think he may have killed off one ling. So let's go ahead and pause this. We're just going to pull open the... I don't have that hotkey anymore because I had to make way for... Okay, units lost. So I lost 3 units worth 200, so that was my 1 queen and a drone. How did I lose 3 for 200? I don't know. Anyways, so we lost 300. That's fine. He lost 450 minerals worth. So far, we're doing pretty good. So let's go back to the production tab and start this back up again. So now that his little push is done, we're going to go ahead and get our third set up and going. We are at a full 2 base saturation. Now, I did make a mistake here throughout this game. I kind of went a little bit gas heavy, even though I shouldn't have. That's one of the things I've been trying to work on with Valen, is not getting so much, like not taking all of my gases whenever I'm going range, because they're not always gas heavy unless I put it a lot into infestors. So infestors and vipers are really the only things that balance out the need for all the gases. So we're going to go ahead and move those spines down a little bit just to kind of protect the natural, and we're going to get this third up and going. We're working on our +1/+1, and are also working on some of our upgrades for our hydras, and we also starting our infestation pit so we can go hive. And we see he's coming in with a lot of roaches, so we're just kind of push in and catch these. He does push in a little bit. We try to pull him into the spines. He does take a few hits, takes out my queen. So I go ahead and start a couple more queens and take out these roaches. As far as upgrades go, we are on even upgrades right now, though he does take a lead here, and I had completely forgotten to grab my +2/+2 just yet. I make up for it later though. So we just continue droning up. We go ahead and replace those queens, start our 4th, and get that up and running. We're also going to go ahead and take the gas on our 4th, though like I said, I shouldn't have done that. I should have taken that gas and used it for something else. we go ahead and start a few infestors, and we're also going to go ahead and get a few swarm hosts out as well. Just to kind of counteract. We do see on the mini-map that he does have quite a force there, and we're just kind of getting ready for it, steadily making units. Okay, and we're just kind of being wary, and we do see him go ahead and push out, so we're going to go ahead and push our roaches off to the side to catch him there. So we go ahead and catch him. Unfortunately, I didn't have my swarm host burrowed in time, so it didn't do much good. We go ahead and start our enduring locust as well, and get out some more swarm hosts just so that it can actually be useful. So we're going to go ahead and go up to a full 8 on that, and we're just kind of pushing around. He does manage to take out that hatchery, but that's alright. We're just kind of push him back again. We're going to consolidate our swarm hosts a little bit so we can get those moving out. We are working on our hive. Our hive is almost finished, which luckily it's going to finish right as our 2-2 is finishing. So as soon as 2-2 finishes, we can go ahead and start 3-3. So we get that 3-3 underway, and we have to restock our queens because he killed off some queens again, and we're going to go ahead and transfer down some drones. Okay, so we've got that there. We're going to go ahead and pull that queen back to the base like it should have been. And where's that other? Okay, that hatch is still working there. So he has these overseers. We're going to try to take those out a little bit. And he just popped up in my 4th and took that out again. So unfortunately, it died. And I wasn't making very good use with those infestors. I don't think I did anything with them there. So they kind of were a waste. But we do go ahead and start remaxing our units up, though we are very gas heavy right now because he did manage to take out yet another base, so we're going to go ahead and pick that back up. I lost a lot of bases in this match, so we're going to go ahead and push these locusts up into his base. We just have them rallied up so that they can do a little bit of damage each time they come up there, especially with the upgrade. They have quite a considerable range. And we're going to go ahead and throw down a macro hatch too, because we're hurting a little bit on the larva front. Or we just want to be able to have that larva when we need it. So, and he just kind of walks right into my army burrowed. So luckily I had the overseers there, and I was able to kill off quite a bit there. We're going to go ahead and kill these rocks off as well, so that he doesn't have that avenue of approach available. He has to come from this one path right there. He does manage to get past us for a moment, so we go ahead and get in there. And we're also pulling out these vipers so that we can use some blinding cloud. Now they're not ready just yet because I didn't have them consume on anything, but we'll be able to get that back up. And he takes out my 3rd yet again. So right now I'm down to 1 mining base. So I am kind of hurting a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and restart that as well. And then we're also going to be taking down our 3rd. Now unfortunately we don't have our overseer speed, so they did get away, so we went ahead and start working on overseer speed as well. And we're also going to go ahead and start moving these. We go ahead and take out that queen really quick, and we're going to move these swarm hosts down just so they have a little bit better range. Okay, just kind of get a better range on that ramp so they can go in there and actually do some damage. He comes up. He does manage to kill off 1, but luckily I'm right there to chase him away again. And we're going to go ahead and push in and take out this base. Liberal use of the blinding cloud helps a little bit, but he does manage to pull out of there for a moment. And we're going to go ahead and continue maxing out here. Get rid of that, and we're going to go ahead and take out his 5th base as well, because he's just now starting to drone that. So we're going to attack it from 2 fronts. We're going to move these swarm hosts over and attack it from that front as well. So we do manage to take out that base, and we go ahead and start the attack here. Now, my economy is kind of hurting, especially since I've got so much gas and not that much minerals, but we are still ahead in supply right now, and we are working. We do have 3 mining bases up. Well, 2.5 basically. So we're constantly just trying to catch the lead on this guy, and we're constantly rallying in there. And what we're going to move our swarm host over here so that they can take out his 5th, and we'll occupy his 4th. That way he can't take either of those, and we have that overlord in his other position. That way he can't take any base there. So we're just kind of waiting there. and remaxing on units. He pushes in with a force. I don't even see this fight. I guess I look over at the last second at the fight, and that's GG. So, overall, very long game, very macro based. He did attack me right there, right as I was getting my 2 base saturation up. Luckily, between the 3 spines and the 15 or so roaches I had, that helped. He was very aggressive, kept taking out my bases. Luckily, I was taking them back as soon as he killed it. I already had a drone working on getting it back up and running. So it was, if I didn't make that aggressive push there the last 5-10 minutes and take out his 4th and 5th, he probably would have been able to get up the economy to take me out, but he was having the same problem as I was, so much gas and not enough minerals. So luckily we were able to get that because we had just a much wider array of our unit composition. We had 3-3 a little bit longer than he did, and I just had a better unit composition between the Vipers for the Blinding Cloud and the Swarm Host to kind of give that long-range siege attack that we get. I was able to overcome that. So one of the things that Valen was telling me about, especially anytime, because I'd lost 1 Zerg game since we've been doing the coaching, and that was to a similar play like this, where they came in with roaches and they took out 2 of my bases. Well, instead of staying back, getting up my bases again, and just kind of focusing on that economy, I went in for the attack. What he suggested was, anytime you lose bases like that, immediately get up Swarm Hosts, because they're great for defensive play. They're not very mobile, but because they're free units, it helps out a lot. So I've been trying to incorporate those into the game as well. So, yeah. My win percentage is slowly climbing back up. The 3 games that I played tonight were all wins. The first was a ZVP, the second was a ZVT, and the third was, of course, the ZvZ. I may go ahead and record the ZvZ as well later tonight, but we'll see. Anyways, it's been a pleasure, and I will see you in the next one.